And, but this 99 county plan we've got is to organize this state like never before. It's like putting a GPS over this state. I need a church ambassador, I need a citizen ambassador, I need a grassroots coordinator. Then we're going to back it up with the technology, and I'm going to tell you where every pro-life voter lives, where every pro-marriage voter lives, where every pro-Second Amendment voter lives, and where every anti-debt raising ceiling person lives. And I'm going to create an army. And what we're going to do is we're going to be to instantly activate this state on a dime if it's an anti-family movement at the local level, at the state level, or at the national level. And it's not just about life, and it's not just about marriage, but it's also about the economy, it's about national security, it's about the debt ceiling, it's about energy policy, but we're going to be able to activate on a dime. And David Barton said to me, he said, Bob, that's brilliant. He said, if you can pull it off in Iowa, it should be replicated in every state. Because here's the deal. Here, I'm going to give you the hard note to take questions. Drudge Report came out a few days ago, and they said 1.7% of the population, 1.7% of the population says they're homosexual. And they have got a sweeping agenda that's just changing this country. And it doesn't stop with same-sex marriage. It's all about me, my rights, my benefits, control your pulpits, control the schools, and control your freedom. It's a very orchestrated agenda. The book of Proverbs says, the diligent will rule. It doesn't say the godly will rule, it says the diligent will rule. We need to be diligent today. That's what we're doing with this organization. Matt and I have had an opportunity to visit with a lot of World War II veterans on this tour. My dad lost his ship at Iwo Jima. The World War II generation was always called the greatest generation because they always put the cause above themselves. They were patriots with every last stitch of their God-given body. For faith, for family, for freedom. You don't dive into 19-foot waves and say, what's it going to do for me? You say, what's it going to do for the next generation? I've never had the honor to serve in the military, but I fully understand the oath. That you'll defend this country against enemies that are foreign and domestic. We need patriots to be on the homeland next. We need patriots who are willing to take a stand. Because George Soros and Tim Gill are trying to change this country. We have a small window of opportunity. I really believe that. A small window of opportunity. My coaching blood in me says this. We're either going to seize that window of opportunity and we're going to take a stand and begin taking this country back, or we are going to get rolled. And it's all the same to you, I'd like to start taking this country back. But that means we need each and every one of us to give our best. To give the best of our money. The reason I bring up money is I believe the scripture, where your treasure is, that's where your heart is. You know what? Again, Tim Gill, George Soros, Hollywood, they're cutting big checks. They're not even asking if it's tax deductible. I'm not saying you got to write out $1 million check. Whatever the best is you can do, do it. Your energy, your prayers, your time, whatever your gift is, bring it to the table. Because it's time that we stand up again for a country that we love and we preserve it for our next generation. And for hopefully generations after that. With that, let me open it up for any questions that you have before we need to get on to Osceola, our last county. Are you serious? County. Any questions? Good. No.
Well, if nobody else, yeah. I don't know if you want to comment on this, but we go to the State House now and then, and there's a bill up there, legislators, some of the good guys, partly good guys, think it's a good deal, but it has to do with charter schools, vouchers, and home rule for schooling. Now, are you up on that issue?
I'm not up on that issue per se, because there's a lot of issues at the state capitol that have been taking our attention. But from the family leaders' point of view, just real quick, our guiding principles, it is the parents' right and it is the parents' privilege to raise and educate the children, not the government's right and privilege to raise and educate our children. So therefore, being so sold out to a public school system, we believe there needs to be choices of homeschool, charter school, private schools, other things that would provide competition.
Well, I kind of looked at this issue a little bit, and it's not what you think it is.
Who's pushing it? Do you know?
Well, it's in the House. Newt Gingrich is. And as far as at the state level, Cecil Dolchek is.
So what's the underlying issue with the bill? What are they trying to get pushed that they're trying to use smoke and mirrors?
Well, really the idea of it is to get vouchers is federal money, and it's to ruin the church school and homeschool is the idea behind it, and they make it sound good. And the home rule, they make it sound like the local school, these local charters, these new charter things, that the local parents and the people have control, but they won't. They just make it sound that way, because when you get the voucher, that comes from the state and federal. And
whoever's given the money controls the shots.
Control. And when they talk about public-private partnership, there's nothing private about it, because, and it's not public, it's government. And they control it, but they make us convinced through these vouchers.
Just so you know where I've always stood on that, and I'm a product of a Christian school system, you know, went through Sheldon Christian, Western Christian, then Northwestern College, is even to them I said, you know, I don't think you want to be accepting vouchers from the standpoint of whoever's cutting the check calls the shots. I'd much rather be in form of tax credits, and aggressive, that's your money, where it's not them calling the shots. You want your freedom with your private school and your homeschool choices. But I want to dovetail to another, because this just happened, so I'm going to take a little bit of privilege here, because we only got so much time. But I'm going to dovetail real quick. Last year, they took a vote on a Second Amendment bill, and the Republicans voted for it. All 44 of them voted for it. Matt, was it 2 days ago, Monday night? No, it was Tuesday. Tuesday, they brought that same bill to the Iowa House, a real Second Amendment bill. Well, last year, when you only have 44 Republicans, you're not going to pass it anyhow. So I mean, you can vote for stuff that's not going to get passed. It's not that tough of a vote. Now they have a chance to pass it. You know how many votes they got for that bill? Same vote they got 44 last year? 6. They had 6 votes. That's what we're saying about we need to be there in the public policy to hold even the office holders accountable. These Tea Party Republicans that went to Congress, and they're going to change the way business was done. Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann said, Bob, she said when they lined up behind the microphone Friday night on the budget deal, they just melted like hot butter. They went one by one behind the microphone. If this isn't about social issues, this is about spending, and we're thrilled with $38 billion worth of cuts. And the reason they did that is they wanted to be applauded by leadership, to say, good job, good job, good job. You know what? For us, we're not Republican nor we're Democrat. We're only going to be for people who champion family value issues. And we're going to expose those who aren't. But guys, I'm just telling you the truth here from someone who studied economics and taught economics. We got serious issues, and we can't be about politics as usual anymore. So that's kind of where we stand. Any other questions? Yes.
You're asking for 3 positions in each county. What are their responsibilities?
The responsibilities are, one is we want to engage as communication vehicles with them. For example, we will have a monthly phone call with all of these from around the state. One is a communication device. Obviously, we do Facebook, we all do all the social media stuff too, but a conference call. So one is if in Union County you say, this is what we're doing in Union County, and it's really working out well. I mean, we're really engaging. Then all of a sudden, Van Buren County, Alameda County, and others can learn from Union County, and vice versa. But the deal is, let's say in Union County, that something's going to happen at the Creston School District. that you go, how in the world is this taking place in Creston? Well, we believe locals should fight their own fight, but we'll come in with statewide everything. Resources, network, whatever it is to back you up, to take a stand for that family value. If it's a state issue, let me tell you a state issue we got right now. Senator Grunstall is, he's not allowing the people's voice to be heard. Even though he's got one district in Council Bluffs, our goal is to rain fire statewide into that district. Even if we need to be chartering buses going into that district, door knocking, leaf drop, even though we can't vote, we can influence what happens there. But we need to get rid of Grunstall. If it's a federal issue, like right now at Boehner, we've got to rain fire on Vander to say, you better show some guts and courage about the debt ceiling. Because if you just raise the debt ceiling with no other agreements on how to reform government to bring down something, we're in real trouble. I would say you don't raise the debt ceiling. Because I think once you do, they'll just go back to politics as usual again, which is our credit card bill. So what we're trying to do is say, those are our boots on the ground, and then we're going to inform our boots on the ground who are other like-minded people in your county, in your region, that you could assemble quickly.
Are you wanting to work through the central committee then, or what?
No, this would be out of the family leader. This is not a party deal. We're not looking for a party deal. Now, hopefully, we add value to the party. Because, most of our platforms are going to be the same as the Republican platform. The fact is we have a lot of Republicans who walk away from the Republican platform. If that makes sense to you. The other thing, I want you to get this for a second. There's about 100 days in each legislative session. Our goal would be is that we get one county to adopt a day at the session. And that they would go up with their 6 or their 12 or their 30 people, and they would lobby legislators on key issues. It might be this issue you just brought up with the schools to be informed about. Because what happens with the other side, they bring in 6 people every day. Now, they may be the same 6 people, but they just hammer, and they hammer, and they hammer these guys. What we'd like to do is bring up a fresh 6 every day to say, it's a real issue, guys. But we need to get organized today. David Martin said this to me, he's a wall builder. He said, Bob, conservatives have a problem. They're consistent. He said, whether they win an election or lose an election, they take their ball and go home. He said they need to stay engaged in the fight long term now. If we're ultimately going to advance our way of thinking, our worldview.
You had mentioned that you're going to have a list of everybody who was like-minded. Do you vision us calling them and keeping in touch, and that's where we get our group? I think what it is, that's a way to engage quickly when we need to engage them quickly. Usually activists are different than people who are kind of, I just want to be on the sidelines, but when you need me, let me know, I'll be there. Okay? So we want to keep communication with the activists, but it's kind of like, hey, now we need you, now here's your people that I think would come and be of aid or support to you as well. Now, a county might be different. A county might say, well, I want to stay actively engaged as much as they want to be. That'd be your freedom to do that. But our goal, think about this, and we'll have more than that, because some of the population, even Creston, we probably could have more than that. But especially like Des Moines and Ames and Cedar Rapids and others, we'll have more. But at minimum, we would have 300 people, statewide networked for the advancement of the family, whether it's life, marriage, economy, debt.